We are back with our championship match.
There's David. We're in a nice place here, GreenHills.
And there's Brian Himmler.
Same pants as last week. Wow.
You know, those are Tiny Tim pants or something, huh?
How about Guppy Troop pants, huh?
Yeah, there you go.
They make a fashion statement.
George probably doesn't know who Guppy Troop is,
Right.
so you're good.
He's sort of like, I don't know, what would you say, a quasi Ernie Schlegel?
Sort of. Quasi?
I don't know. He didn't look Japanese to me. Brian Himmler opens the match the way anybody wants to open it, with a crushing, intimidating strike. Ron Bohnert taking his time.
Bohnert started our last match in fine style, striking 5 of the first 6 frames. And gets the kiss.
A kiss it is, the 6 into the 8. Let's watch it if we can. The ball's going to cut through sharply here. Watch it as it goes into the 1-2 pocket. It takes the 1 and the 2 pin out of the play. That's the middle of your screen. And the next one to the right. What are we looking at? The 6. Leaning tower of Pisa. 8. You're out of here. Not as authoritative as Mr. Himmler's strike, but effective nonetheless.
And it counts.
That too.
So does that. A double to open the match here for Ron Bohnert.
Covering a lot of boards, George.
For those of you that don't know, the BPA does put up $15,000 in the case of a 300 game.
There's they got our crowd started in the back. Please hold it down. Brian Himmler, right-hand lane. Reared up a little bit on that shot.
Sure did. Looking back at the rack, as if it actually had something to do with it.
It's been there the whole time,
That's right.
Brian Himmler very composed. Will shoot this cross lane, the 6 and the 10. He throws with a lot more speed and kills the roll on the ball. There you see it. Therefore, cutting down the potential to chop the 6 off the 10.
Our 2-time king looking to make it 3. But it won't be easy against Ron Bohnert the way he's throwing the ball. A 2-12 to win our last match. But he kind of coasted home after starting with a flurry.
The grimace on that one indicated he was leaving nothing on the table, George.
The strike in the 3rd frame, so he's back on track.
Oh, he puts his heart and soul into this one. 9 out to about the 5th board. 1-3 pocket annihilated. Yeah,
piece of cake.
Seen enough perfection in my life. That's fine. Man has got a future in this game.
Bohnert working on the double.
Look out. Oh,
wow.
Look out
goodness.
indeed.
The shot. Yeah, go ahead,
Split
Jeff.
that rack wide open.
The shot actually looks like it's getting a little better for Ron, and he is utilizing it to its maximum potential. Thought the ball would roll up a little high. It held and just absolutely parted the waves.
So he starts off with 3 in a row. And that's the way you want to start this championship match, especially against a guy who's been as hot as Brian Himmler.
With a strike here, he can take a 20-pin jump. Gary Logan sitting in the back there, just still trying to contemplate what he could have done on lane 5 to make things work out a little better. Ron Bohnert going wide, leaving the bucket minus the back row. So you're looking at the 3, the 5, and the 6. There you see it. Ron Bohnert is one of the people that shoots his spare a little bit more to the left of the lane than some of the right-handers do. He plays the break of the lane going across. There you see it, the big break. And
didn't break enough, huh?
Exactly, Jen. And I don't want to reconstruct anybody's spare game, but the less you work the ball on your spares, the fewer boards you cover, the more potential you're going to have to make those spares. And you saw an example of it right there. Is he going to jump on that open frame? What do you think?
Here we go. Little hand smack, and Brian's ready.
Well, Brian knows in match play competition, it's never over till it's over.
Somebody said that. Yeah.
Baseball, I think.
Some guy named Yogi. I think.
Yogi came up with a lot of ways. I think Yogi also said much can be learned by observing. Huh?
Indeed it
That
can.
applies here too, right?
You got that right.
Let's
I'm not
observe
sure
Brian
Yogi said that, but we'll take your word for it.
Whoa, 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 whoa.
Totally errant.
Brian Himmler doesn't throw too many this wild, but actually way too fast. Cups the ball, sends it out to about the third board. He's been nowhere around the third board all day today. Leaves the 1, 2, and the 4. Bad shot, Brian Himmler. The type of shot you really don't expect from a bowler of his caliber, but he's human, right?
I guess that proves it a little further.
Chops the 1, 2 off the 4 by not having the proper angle on the head pin.
I'll typically move 3 boards right on that spare.
Just going to say, Jen, you either want to hit it a lot thinner or heavier and let the ball run down. 1 pin, he had the lead for a second there, and then opening in the 5th frame lets Ron Bohnert have the opportunity to really, really pad the lead. Yep. Oh my, look at this. The 3, 9, 7.
Once again, a very, very difficult spare.
That is. I'm not even sure how you would approach this thing.
Well, let's take a look at it, if you would, George. Got a hunch he just might bring us back. You got to let the ball hook past the 3-pin, going to the right. Nope, not that way.
Oh.
How about a field goal?
No points awarded, though.
Once again, I don't want it. You take it.
3 pins.
I really don't. That $1,000, I don't need any money.
What do you say we just split it up and call it a day?
Yeah, we're out of here. You guys finish bowling. We'll take the money, right? 3 pins. Brian Himmler, our champion. An unexpected 3-pin lead going into the last half of this, our championship match.
Of course, Ron Bohnert bowling at Northwest Lanes, Fairfield Lanes, with our good man, good friend Bud Boskin.
A little bit weak.
The weak 7 is right. Sending the ball wide with not too much on it, hooking back, but just not hitting. Ron is disturbed about his performance, I think, in the last frame, and even more upset with the fact that he did not bring any of those pins back. He could have been 1 pin down. He's instead 3 pins down. And that could be a major factor when the 10th frame is all totaled up.
Well, we're that close through 5 frames here. Brian Himmler now coming up in the 6th.
Sarge gave me a little ticket here. The guy's monitoring our miles per hour on the ball that he went way wide and missed the head pin. His speed was almost 3 miles an hour more than what it has been prior to that. He obviously geared down a little bit and threw a pretty good shot there. Brian Himmler, he said, okay, I'll take this one. All right. Head pin center of your screen. Go to the left-hand wall. Comes off. Goes right over the top of the 4, but the 5 rolls into the 4, and then in the 7.
Yeah.
Okay.
We talked about Guppy Truth, Ernie Schlegel. Is this guy Pro Tour material in your opinion, Dave?
Definitely has the talent. Definitely has the game. Once you get out on the road, who knows, George? Coming out of the Cincinnati area, we've had some pretty good prospects down through the years, and I think Steve Ferris had the most success of any of us in bringing home 2 titles. Kevin Gillette bringing home a title. Other people experiencing some minor successes, but Brian Himmler has all the tools to go out and cause some major league damage, but the variable happens once you get on the road.
That's right. Brian being very young. the experience, I would say. Would you say it takes probably 2 good years just to get the hang of what's going on, the lanes, the balls, the whole system?
The whole 9 yards, Jen, you're absolutely right. A good year for a great player, and for the younger players that might be more susceptible to the road life and the pitfalls thereof, 2 years would probably be a pretty conservative estimate. Ron Bohnert could make it 112. Yep, maintains that 3-pin difference, but the all-important. Ooh. Little emotion there, folks.
He's like, yeah, that's the way you do it. When he throws a good one, he really throws a good one.
3 pins. Ron Bohnert, strike working. He's 3 down. He could cut it and go in the lead by 7 with a strike on the left line.
He's been our king 3 times in previous years. Looking to take it all here today.
The same lane that was Kerry Logan's undoing is also not treating Ron Bohnert very favorably, only striking once so far this game on the left-hand lane. And that was the second frame to start to match off with the 3-bagger that you referred to, George. Since going open on that lane, week 7, bringing back his spares.
Now this match continues to be tight. Bohnert with a chance there to vault into the lead, but it just didn't happen.
There you see the score, 3 pins. Bohnert giving up the advantage in the strike in the 7th, therefore opening the door for Brian Himmler should he strike all the way to the wall. Hold on, don't go to the fridge yet. 4-9, Brian Himmler with a great shot, leaving a very difficult spare. Gets the ball in, but I thought it was going to hold, but just too much power. Rolls off. 4-9 is right. He can make this by cutting down the 4-pin on the left side. Interesting way to go about it.
Yeah, he kind of backed it up a little bit, or tried to.
Don't really recommend that way of doing it either, because if you apply your normal spin to the ball, your spin as a right-hander is going to be going counterclockwise. When it hits the pin, it obviously puts the spin reverse on it, and it can keep that 4-pin more in front of the 9.
I agree.
It's a lot like pool, you know, it reverses the spin on the ball, and that's what he should have tried to do. Potential 212 for Ron Bohnert. Himmler 202 if they both strike all the way out, but Brian becoming a little bit upset with the way things are panning out here. Just not comfortable with the condition at all right now.
He sure could have used a strike here in the 9th. Nevertheless, if he converts a spare.
192 potential. It's the best he can do. Ron Bohnert is in the driver's seat. It's just a question if he can find the ignition or not, George.
We'll find that out right here.
Brian, very aggravated. It's so easy once you've already thrown the shot to look back on it and say what I did wrong or what I didn't do wrong. But when you go down in the match, it's definitely more evident. You just wish you could take that shot again.
Well, the key's in the ignition, David. Can he turn it?
Let's see. Let's see if it's charged up. Yeah.
The engine's running.
Yeah, that's right. The Hemi's kicked in, and with one more strike, this match is over for Mr. Himmler.
So Bohnert still on that 212 pace if he takes it to the wall.
We have a potential for a tie. No, we don't. It would be a 1-pin difference no matter what happens, but it could be a very, very close match here. Bohnert could strike on this ball, and it would force Himmler to get the first 2 in the 10th frame, and then we're looking at count. But this is a big shot.
He got it.
The big shot, the big reaction. Ron Bohnert, left-hand lane, the one that's been given in trouble. He masters it at an opportune time. Let's take a look at it. Biggest shot of the match. What's he do? He throws his best shot of the match. 1-2 pocket filled up, 10 in the pit. Every pin doing its job, and the way you do it.
That should pretty much do it, huh?
Well, let's see what we got here. 192 is the
Yeah,
best
that'll
Brian
do it.
Himmler can do, and that is it. 198 without even throwing a ball. You're looking at our new champion. Only 2 people have gone 3 weeks. Brian Himmler is not one of them this time.
So an even 200 for Ron Bohnert, and that's all it's going to take in our championship match.
Brian Himmler just wants to get out of the way and move on down the highway with his $500 check. Ron Bohnert is going to take the plaque and the $1,000 home today. That's the way you shoot the 245. Flatten it out from the other side and go as straight as you can. Not the type of game that Brian Himmler is going to typically shoot, but everybody has their day. Today is Ron Bohnert's day.
We'll be back to talk to our new king, Ron Bohnert, as he takes our championship match over Brian Himmler. We'll wrap it all up right after this. We're back with our new king, Ron Bohnert, and to wrap it all up, I'm going to turn it over to David.
Thank you, George. A little hardware. David presented it to you from the house of GreenHills, and $1,000 for your efforts. You unseated a pretty tough bowler there, Ron. How do you view the match now after it's over?
Well, I've been struggling lately on the show, and I'm just glad to get out of it a clean show for a change.
Well, you did an excellent job, and Brian Himmler 2 weeks in a row, but you took him down. Great shooting, George.
Okay, David, congratulations, Ron. We'll see you again next week for the BPA Hudy King of TV Bowling. We'll see you then.
Look out. Wow.
6 deliveries, 6 strikes. I like him. He can cover a few boards, too, but he's got to cover the pocket up, and he does that time. That was only perfect.
Would like to build on his lead.
It's close again. Yeah, he likes it. He's even running that one out.